Okay, so Arsenal have just put out a tweet about the European Super League, and there's been rumours across the whole day, and people have kind of been ignoring it, overreacting, but it's kind of just been rumours, right? But it's pretty much confirmed now that we're in negotiations, right? And Romano's just tweeted, and it's all going off, right? And first of all, let me make this perfectly clear. I don't agree with this. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I echo everyone's sentiments about how stupid it is. And it's nice to actually see football fans come together for once. It's kind of weird how it's taken this for it to happen. You know, like when racism happens or homophobia or all these things, there's always football fans arguing. And I think this is the only thing I've ever seen where football fans have actually been quite united, which, is nice to see. But the thing is, I'm not really overreacting. And the reason why I don't think you should either, because I've seen people going to meltdown, that clip of the Morecambe manager going, I just fell out of love with football. It's everywhere. But the one thing I would say is it's not happening. Okay, it's not happening. Relax. And the reasons it's not going to happen, first of all, literally everyone's against it. And how would it even work? Like, let's say Chelsea are playing Barcelona one week. Fans aren't going to be able to travel to that. If that won't happen, it's just a power play. This happens all the time. We see it with like players' contracts, right? They say, "Oh, I'm going to leave," then they pay them more money in this day. UEFA and that, they'll just settle and it'll go down. Plus, UEFA have a lot of power. Like we've seen this with them apparently banning players from playing for their national teams. Now, this is the main reason why I don't think it will happen, because let's just take, I know PSG aren't technically in it, but let's just take Neymar, right? Actually, no, let's take Ronaldo. Ronaldo loves playing for Portugal. If he hears that I won't be able to play for Portugal just because my club want to play in a European Super League, it won't happen. Players have so much power. All it takes is a few players to go, fuck this, we ain't doing this. And it ends. So, yeah, I don't think the European Super League will happen. I'd be absolutely amazed. The one interesting thing is, although I don't agree with the European Super League, I think it's so interesting the amount of hypocrisy that's been kind of shown around it. So, like, you see Sky Sports and Gary Neville and all these guys coming out and going, it's so horrible. All this money in the game, all this greed. I'm sorry, yeah, but Sky Sports have promoted greed in football for years, but they're going to get hit by this, so now they're moaning about it. Like, I'm sorry, but it's absolutely ridiculous that Sky Sports are on their high horse. And I'm not talking about Gary Neville specifically. Just because you work for someone doesn't mean you agree with all their ideologies, but I think people like Sky are pushing this narrative is ridiculous. Like, they've been profiting off football for years. Same with fans, to be honest. Like, I don't hear fans care about money in football when they go, let's spend 50 million on Erling Haaland or 150 million on Mbappe. No one cares. But as soon as it changes little things like, or big things like the European Super League, all of a sudden everyone cares. And, like with the ethics of football, let's say when Bury went out of business for last year, right? No one really cared. No football club, they could have easily solved that. No one cares. But all of a sudden, when it's about the top six, everyone's so interested. And it's just, the hypocrisy of it is ridiculous. But yeah, I think people are overreacting because it won't happen. And I get why people are scared, but it won't happen. Like, football is so set in its way. I think this will get solved very quickly. I think in the next month this will be done and things will go back to normal. Like, I've seen people say like points deductions and all this, and that PSG are going to get given the Champions League, and it won't happen. So I'm seeing a lot of scaremongering, on all the big fan channels, and trust me, I would bet all the money I have that this will not happen. But yeah, it's interesting though. I think some things about football do need to change. Like, I think the Europa League, for example, needs a big rebrand. The Champions League probably needs resetting. But I don't want it to happen. But I kind of understand why. Look, people think that football's like, people are saying football's dying. Football died years ago. Football died when the Premier League happened. It's just people are only starting to realize it now because it's affecting their little Premier League that they all love. But football's died for ages, and I think it's kind of weird how it's taken people this to realize that money's taken over football. But whatever. But let me know what you guys in the comments think. I just think a lot of people are scaremongering, and I don't think it will actually happen. But it'll be interesting to see, man. It'll be interesting to see over the next few months how it goes. But I don't think it will happen, mainly due to player power and the power of nations in the UEFA. I'd be amazed if it happened. Like, they'll get big money from the Super League, but not so much that they'll want big legal battles. And I would be amazed if it happened. But it's interesting to discuss. But yeah, let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and let me know what you think, man. I'm curious. It's definitely interesting.